Hey, good evening. This is the Historical Commission meeting. And I'm going to call the meeting to order at 5 o'clock.
Camera working.
Is it working?
So I showed you, it's showing up there, but.
Of course, we're having technical difficulties. Yeah, it's not moving.
No, that antenna, is it the antenna where it was? That stopped moving. It's focused on the antenna.
Oh, maybe. Focus on that. But just this.
This is technology.
Okay.
Oh, that.
I'm over this way, right?
Good, the camera's on the button, yeah. But it's supposed to go automatically, right? Want me to just turn it? Yes. Hey, just let me know when you're all focused. Okay.
No, we can't see Rafa and Bill.
Okay.
There we go. Okay.
Hey, can you see me? Yes.
Yeah. And for that. Also, the public assistance. Okay.
Public.
All right, so we're now at, call to order, and just do roll call. Just go around and introduce yourself.
Pam Olson,
Ken Pacheco.
Irene Alley,
Brian Smith. Bill Pruitt.
And Pat Gale is the chairperson. Irene Alley is our newest commission member. She's all signed in and sworn in and joining us. And Ron Smith is here as a visitor this evening. Prospective member. Very good. So put your best foot forward, everyone. Let's stand for the pledge, please. States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, and justice for all. Thank you. To review, discuss, and act on the response to our RFQ from Stacy Spies. We only had one response. I ended up talking to a gentleman from Easton, planner. We went to,
No, it's just only showing some of us.
not all of us.
no, just me and Ken.
Oh.
So, yeah, I really needs a little bit this way.
From here? No,
Yeah.
that's weird.
I'll move it again if you want me to.
Yeah, I'd like everyone to be. We always have problems with active reason.
How is that now?
Yes, I sent it to
Not
her.
enough, not enough, more.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I sent you the proposal. Yeah. Now I have some hard copies here. Hard copy. Bill, you want a hard copy or you good?
Okay.
Anybody else?
Thank you, sir.
All right, so I talked to this gentleman from Easton, he called, actually, I thought he was calling in, for a reference check, but actually he was calling to see what list we were using for preservation consultants, because he had put out an RFQ and was not having any luck with responses. So we had a long conversation about the lack of responses, and I guess a lot of the preservation consultants in the field have retired. Moved on to other jobs, so they're just not looking at this kind of work. And then in a conversation that I was having with Stacy, she said through Mass Historical Commission, she had heard basically the same thing, that the lack of consultants out there.
Hmm.
So if anyone wants to do some training and go back to school, there's some job opportunities. So anyway, we have this one response from Stacy. Since we have worked with Stacy, she is finishing up our present project, which is almost completed. I met with Mike Mullen and he says we know her work. So we don't have to do it, an interview. As far as the references go, there's the same references that were listed last year, so they would say the same things that would be that they said last year when I checked the references. And also now, we've got an historical commission and myself as the chairperson are now listed as references on her, so which you would expect. So I think I'll open it up first, see if anyone has any comments, any questions, anything that they want to share. Impressions?
We'll have to wait till the public input before I can open them all. I think it's too late, Mario.
Nope.
I don't want to
Yeah.
interrupt the flow. I had a question, and
Okay.
what was the project she was working on?
She's doing a survey, nothing of our survey. Which this is the second part of the survey,
Okay.
updates. The documentation on our homes, our historic homes and resources in Dayton.
Now, is that based on like 20 years ago? You say it's an update of a survey.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I
and
think I
more,
know what you're talking
yeah, and more. After the meeting, I'll be glad to share some information.
about. No, I'm sure I will. I just wanted to
Yeah.
know.
Um,
Just general question. How many houses are we talking about? We're talking about North Dayton.
we're talking about, North Dayton, Lincoln Avenue, Mount Hope Finishing Company, area, the village,
Yay.
to document that part. So, and so there'd be approximately the same number of houses, she did 94 this time, so between 90 and 94, so, yeah. That's where the focus will be.
My comment is, seeing how she's the only one who applied for the job. And seeing how as we're satisfied, are we satisfied?
I have been,
Okay, so
yeah,
seeing how she's the only one who applied and we're satisfied with her work. Then I would recommend going forward with her for another term.
okay, anybody else? Just, so hold that thought, because we'll get there. There was one thing that I wanted to make sure that everyone, to the contract that we will recommend to the Board of Selectmen, we will make our recommendation to the Board of Selectmen. They will put together the contract. Contract will include the scope of work that we made for the request that was in our request for proposals or quotes and our preliminary listing. When I went through what Stacy had sent us, she had one addition and it was like in phase 3 about resources as available due to COVID-19 precautions. So I would think that we may want to consider adding that to our scope of work. And she also included in it MHC, Massachusetts Historical Commission, because they will not be involved in our phase meetings this time around because they are not a funding source. The reason that the first time was because Massachusetts Historical Commission was a funding source. This project is being totally funded by our CPC funding.
Those letters are key. I hate letters.
Community Preservation Committee,
Commission.
Commission, which is, yeah, yeah.
The Dayton CPC?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
and the Mass Historical Commission, MHC.
Mhm.
So that would be one change that I would point out to Stacy, if we need to. The lump sum fixed contract of $25,000. There's 4 phases again, and all of, as far as I can see, all of the required packages are in order. So
The CPC doing half.
not this time, they're doing the full $25,000.
Oh, okay.
All right, does anyone else have a comment? Ralph, do you have anything?
Yeah, under phase 3, it says that municipalities will produce, and the first bullet says, she will produce unnumbered complete draft inventory forms for approximately the main properties and photos and locus maps for various buildings, site structures And parentheses, this information is optionally to be submitted in on the budget. Like an option, like, I mean, it's required to just submit
Where do you see
the
that?
CD. Phase 3. Just means files will produce. First bullet.
Oh, I see it, yeah.
I think we should just require her to submit a CD, not. It cannot be an option, we have to have our own records.
The undrafted ones, I don't know if I would put that there because when we did the last one, the unnumbered draft forms, those were all submitted electronically.
Okay.
I forwarded them to you through a Dropbox. Because in the next phase, where the CD comes in to play.
Okay.
This is
So the
maybe,
important bullet.
option.
I have this Word file. So I have-
How does it compare, Doug? Do you have the equivalent form from the last?
Okay, bring that with me.
I wonder what the difference, is there a difference in wording?
No, basically, it's the same. So you're saying we would want it in CD with the undrafted forms, you think that would be easier to,
Yes.
because that would be for our review. The undrafted forms would be our review.
Okay. I thought it was just,
I would say electronic form or, I don't know why a CD or a DVD, if you're gonna use anything, use a thumb drive. You know, because like my computer, I would need to get
well,
a,
because of all this spyware, it's,
yeah,
you know, everything can happen in electronic.
Right.
forms and stuff, so that's why I prefer this for CD.
all right.
Or a floppy disk.
Or, yeah, floppy
I
disk.
thought it just would work.
Or, when was the last time we saw floppy disk back in 1986.
So Robert, what I think, what we can do is just, yeah, make a recommendation with that and then get clarification. And that to be included in the contract for next week. Anything else? All right, I'll make, I'll entertain a motion to recommend to the Board of Selectmen to enter into a contract with Stacy Spies, historic preservation consultant, to complete the Dayton Community-wide Historic Property Survey Update Phase 2. So moved. There a second?
I second.
All right, and we'll vote by roll call. Pat? Aye. Irene? Rafa?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
And I'm also an aye, so that passes unanimously. Thank you. All right, so,
And we'll let me go.
It's been around a long time just to figure it out.
Oh, yeah, he's our board of selectmen liaison. So,
Oh,
any public input? That, Ron?
not at this time,
Okay.
based on this subject, I have to do a little homework.
Okay.
How this,
All right,
oh, I have a question, actually. It might relate to you, or it does relate. Is who on the committee is the representative in CPC?
oh, that's Bill.
Well, you are, oh, the black, okay. I didn't see the title for that and structure for CPC.
Bill's not normally quiet. So, you know, this is trying to impress you.
All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So,
There a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion to adjourn. We'll vote. Jack?
Hi.
Irene? Rafa? Bill?
And so last one.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
5:15.
Nice to meet you.
Who can you, I ran across. I'm gonna go on, a lot of things, it's on 17 years old, cemetery. Or large,